Hey everyone, it's me, Noah Meehan of the Arc of Truth, and before I get into this video, I would like to apologize for not making my videos frequently. Life has a good way of fucking you over. I had to deal with a common cold, just trying to deal with work, and my car broke down. So I'm having to go through the entire process of trying to obtain a new car and trying to donate my old car to Volunteers of America. Which, by the way, if any of you guys want to donate your old cars, I highly suggest you go to Volunteers of America. At least that's just from my opinion. Just my opinion. If you want to donate to somewhere else, okay, I completely understand. But still, Volunteers of America is pretty good. Now, let's get into this video. RFK Jr. has officially been confirmed as Secretary of Health and Human Services. And I'm not gonna lie, I was iffy about the possibility of him even gaining that seat. The fact that the day before, Tulsi Gabbard managed to obtain her actual confirmation as the Director of National Intelligence, even then, I was still a little bit iffy because, in all honesty, there were many Democrats that opposed. In fact, all the Democrats completely opposed RFK Jr. from being the HHS secretary, but I did not know how many Republicans were going to be against him. And apparently, only one of them was Mitch McConnell. And apparently, he's been doing this every single time to at least the controversial, or at least considered controversial, cabinet picks under the second Trump administration. And honestly, it does not surprise me that Mitch McConnell has been doing this, because he's just, let's just be honest, he is definitely 100% part of the establishment. He's been in politics ever since the late 80s, and he's been in power, and I'm not just talking about as a senator. He's been in power as a Senate or minority leader, as well as being a major figure within the GOP for such a long time. And he has gotten so out of touch that he just does not understand that the regular people do not like him. Hell, I'm still kind of surprised that he still retains his Senate seat, despite the fact that many people within the state of Kentucky do not like this guy. But it's probably due to the possibility of primarying him being so very difficult. In the end, it probably doesn't matter in any case with Mitch McConnell, because he no longer has the amount of power that he used to. Now, back during the first term, during Trump's first term, he absolutely had more control and influence. He was definitely in the, I would say he was definitely in the loop trying to influence Donald Trump, even though he's not the kind of guy that likes to be influenced. In fact, he's the kind of guy that puts his foot down and says, I'm in charge, I'm going to make the decisions, you just give me the needed information, and that's that. But nonetheless, the fact that there were a lot of neocons, or several neocons within Trump's first administration, kind of goes to show that Mitch McConnell still had his hand in regards to how Trump tried to operate. And he still tried to meddle within the affairs of the Republican Party, especially within 2020, or also from 2018 all the way to now. And the fact of the matter is, he doesn't understand that the Republican Party has basically reformed. We're no longer the party of George W. Bush. We're not the party of Mitch McConnell. We're not the party of the Cheneys or the Romneys. Not anymore. We're the party of Donald Trump. And we're wanting something. We want a party that happens to be more populist. Or in this case, with the fact that the GOP is of the right wing, we want right-wing populism. We don't want to have someone who's been in politics for 4 decades in the same seat tell us what to do and to basically disregard what our issues are. And this very case exemplifies that, because Robert F. Kennedy, everyone knows that the Kennedys are a major political family within the Democratic Party. They're very well known. They're even well respected, even among the Republicans. And then Robert F. Kennedy he committed a major sin. He decided that he was going to go against the narrative of the Democrats, which is actually having issues with how the COVID-19 vaccine was operated, and there being no questions about it, and that everything was being shut down in terms of the conversation, I mean. And what did they do? They threw him out. They called him a conspiracy theorist. They called him a vaccine denier. All these things, even though from what I've heard with RFK Jr., he actually does not oppose vaccines. He just wants more. He wants more transparency. In fact, he kind of wants some reform within Health and Human Services to prevent Big Pharma from actually having its hands and trying to manipulate policy in regards to how health is affecting the American people. And honestly, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. And Mitch McConnell decided to vote against him based upon this idea of his that he was not going to vote for someone who tries to undermine the Health and Human Services Department based upon these supposed conspiracy theories. And I'm just basically paraphrasing here. Here's the problem with that. That has already happened in 2020. Ever since the development of the COVID-19 vaccine, which admittedly was started under Donald Trump with Operation Warp Speed, people were, including myself, were actually kind of concerned about a whole lot of facts, especially with how Fauci was giving off these supposed scientific arguments about wearing a mask constantly so that way it wouldn't spread the disease, as well as with where COVID-19 may have originated. No, they just shut that down, called people conspiracy theories, and I'm pretty sure even YouTube still prevents people from actually talking about this, or at least not without either being shadow banned or demonetized. And honestly, thankfully, I'm not monetized yet. But again, that's the very thing. The fact that we are not allowed to talk about the COVID-19 vaccine, we're not allowed to actually challenge the science. Always believe the science. That's what the Democrats say. And yet the science is based upon measurements and arguments by human beings. And oftentimes, the science is not correct because, well, we're human. I'm just saying. Just something to leave out there. And yet, Mitch McConnell does not care. And honestly, considering that the fact that he's with the establishment, obviously, if based upon that perspective, I kind of get why he would actually be opposed to RFK Jr. based upon this. But the fact that he was the only one Republican to vote against many of the cabinet picks, such as Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence, RFK Jr. for Health and Human Services. Hell, I would not be surprised if he, and I'm not sure if Kash Patel has actually been voted upon as of yet by the Senate, but I would not be surprised if Mitch McConnell decided, I'm going to vote against Kash Patel for Director of the FBI because he wants to spy Trump. But in the end, it's not going to do anything. Here's the thing. In the case of Pete Hegseth being confirmed as Secretary of Defense, only 3 Republicans vote against him. Susan Collins of the Democratic state of Maine, which is kind of obvious of her position, but then again, she's also establishment. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. Lisa Murkowski And, of course, Mitch McConnell being from hardcore Republican states. I would not be surprised if in the coming midterms, or at least in the future when Lisa Murkowski is going to have to run for re-election, if she does do that. And I would not be surprised if in the future, when Mitch McConnell steps down, because this is his final term that he says he's not going to run for re-election, Donald Trump is going to do his damn best in order to push a MAGA candidate to replace Mitch McConnell. And he's probably going to try to do that for Lisa Murkowski. I mean, after all, it's what I would do. And honestly, think about it. That would be the biggest comeuppance, the biggest FU to an establishment Republican. After so long, after having someone like that serve his Senate seat for give or take 40 years, around the same time, almost as much as, say, I don't know, Joe Biden, after having constantly screw over the interests of Republican voters and the American people at large, putting in a MAGA candidate to replace him would be just glorious. And it goes to show to you, as I said before, that the Republican Party is no longer the party of George W. Bush, the Cheneys, the Romneys, and of course, it's no longer the party of Mitch McConnell. It is the party of Trump and populism, baby, and being anti-establishment, and I love it. My name is Noah Meehan on The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, like lisping or anything like that, please post them in the comment section down below or directly message me. Thank you.
West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains.